Drink sounds nice. I think I should go grab a drink.
Hey,
I'll get you one too, Charles.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into a pre-show at Computer America. We're going to be starting in about 4 minutes. That's Mike Cermak. Say hi. Yeah, exactly.
Ahoy.
And Charles Tendell is back, although he'll be gone on Friday again, but he is here. And also Mike is going into the chat room, which is nice. And
don't worry, I'll be there momentarily.
And I know you will. And, we're starting momentarily. Okay, cool. All right, so sit back and relax, and here we go. We'll enjoy the show. Poof.
I'm gonna freak
I don't know
out.
why poof, but poof.
I'm gonna freak you out just a little bit, Craig, and I.
No, don't freak me out.
Don't worry, I'll be right back.
All right, bye.
Craig, I just want to give you a heads up. Your camera isn't working.
Until showtime.
Yes, I know this.
All right, just want to give you a heads up in case you.
It was working last night, but then it totally freaked out my system, and so now I'm gonna reinstall it.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Oh, I thought I was just being a jerk because I every time I come on, you don't have a.
No, I had it up and running. I said I would have it back when I was back here in the Carolinas, but it totally blew up my system again. And Logitech sent me the new camera, and that's what caused it. But it wasn't Logitech's problem. It was my fault because I
believe it.
And so I'm gonna wait till over the weekend so I can really test everything out, and then on Monday we'll come back with my camera active. So.
Right on. Well, that makes me look forward to next show.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go into the chat room and say hi to everybody. Hi, all.
And next time is going to be June 4. I'm in town. Great. Yeah, no worries.
2 minutes until.
I didn't get my drink yet. I'll be right back, Greg.
Okay.
I'll get you one too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Something's going on with the camera, Charles. No, you're back.
1 minute until showtime.
Okay.
Yep, I'm back.
The phone number is so small I can't read it. I mean, I'm telling you need to make it as big as Charles Tendell or something, or make 2 lines, or increase the point size because you can barely at high resolution I can barely read that. Just FYI.
I can read it just fine.
I know. Well, I can't. Okay.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I am your host,
Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, returning from a mini vacation, temporarily, Charles Tendell.
Charles, you're back.
I am. I have returned.
You have returned. Well, how was your vacation?
It was good. It was good. Just like every other vacation, it was not long enough, but it was good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, where did you go and see the sights? What'd you do? I mean,
Well, it was a friend's birthday party, so we went and surprised him. That was pretty much it. It was, yeah, that was pretty much it.
And you shocked and you surprised them, okay?
Oh yeah, he was totally shocked. Oh no, I've got to install something.
You?
It's not fair.
No, don't do that.
It's not fair.
We, as I say, we have a great show planned for you, and in hour 2, we're going to do computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America, and let's see what else. Of course, it's Wednesday. That's right.
You know, I'm going to make you say it, so you should just get that out of the way now.
Okay, it's the day before Tuesday.
You fight this every single time. You're like, I'm not going to say it.
I only fight it because you make such a big deal over it.
Well, it's funny.
It's Hump Day.
And because you don't want to say it is why I totally make you say it.
It's Hump Day.
It is Hump Day.
Yes, it is. It means it's the middle of the week. I guess we're in the middle of the hump. I guess that's where it comes from. Yep. And
we're on the hump at this point.
On the hump. Now, tonight's guest is no stranger to the show, and we're going to bring him on momentarily. Let me just get all the normal stuff out of the way, and then we'll bring him on. If you want to call us, because we should say it's open mic night. First, it is the first Wednesday of the month. That means it's we call it Wednesday Madness. And what we do on Wednesday Madness is we answer any questions that you have about computers and technology. Really, literally, we open the lines up. If you want to call us, it's 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, @computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive add-on chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. Under the first pull-down menu, you'll see it says chat room/video page. There's a button on our homepage, too. Our chat room now shares our video. The chat room is real simple. Just put in a username, click the sign-in button, and your Java-enabled browser on a Windows machine, Mac, Linux, they all work. We'll move you into our chat room. And, of course, we now have live video streaming. And the live Computer America video streaming page is brought to you by Other World Computing. Quality products, expert support since 1988, now celebrating its 25th anniversary. If you have any Apple needs, Mac or hard drives or anything that attaches to a Mac, peripherals, I mean, you name it, you can find the best prices there. And also, excellent support. Visit them, please, at www.macsales.com. And check out all the wonderful things that they have at Other World Computing. Okay.
Other
World Computing, yes, okay. So that said, let's get our guest on. He is Mike Cermak.
Are you sure you don't want to torture him just a little bit more?
Nah, let's bring him on.
Okay.
He's the owner-operator of TechGuy.org, which is a website dedicated to helping others with their computer problems and answering their questions. So if you're looking for free technical support, TechGuy.org is the right place. It's been around since 1996, and Mike's site is run completely by volunteers and paid for completely by donations and sponsors. He's also one of our Computer America correspondents who appears here on every first Wednesday of the month. Mike, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're just doing fine, and Charles is back with us, so Ben's
dancing.
Yeah,
because I'm dancing.
I
didn't even miss you, Charles.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
I think it was because you were online were here last time I was.
That's right.
I think so. I think that happens.
Well, he was just gone for a couple of days. He's well, how long were you gone? About a week? Yeah. Not even that, really.
Not even that. I was gone Friday, Monday, and yesterday. Yeah. I'm here today, tomorrow, and then tomorrow, as Craig puts it, is tea day.
Yeah.
Because the place didn't burn down without you.
Yeah.
That's a matter of perspective.
You know what T-Day is, don't you?
No, I don't.
It stands for tooth. Tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's having his wisdom teeth extracted.
Oh no! So will he still be able to be on the program after that if he's not wise anymore?
It'll be like this. I have to talk like this all the time. You kids get off my lawn.
You're practicing already.
Yeah. So
Well, I've already got my shotgun, so yeah.
Well, hopefully they only take out those teeth and not any of the others.
yeah,
Well, you know, somebody told me once that it's easier to just have them all pulled right now and then have fake ones put in. You know, because years down the line, when you absolutely need, you know, when it's time to actually get new teeth or get your teeth fixed or whatever it is, it's just easier. You know, just
Right.
unscrew one and there you go.
it
I'm
just-
buying it.
but we think that on Monday he'll have the weekend to recover, and on Monday hopefully he'll be back up and running.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case, we have Ben in the wings to cover. And,
We don't have Ben.
Yes, he might even join us tonight. You know, so he said send me the invite. We might see him a little later on.
That's madness.
Yes. It's
Makes
really-
me wonder though, is Ben making a move for my job?
No, I don't think so.
Hold on one second. I have to issue this command. SU do /
He's gonna
assassinate Ben.
set up a cron job in case he doesn't make it out of the surgery.
Exactly. it'll be the Charles robot that takes over the show. Hello, Craig.
So anyhow, so we're gonna be now. Here's the thing. I always ask Mike, you know, if he has an idea or a topic or something you want to talk about, you know, and he came up with a really kind of an interesting one. Interesting in the sense that I know Charles is a car enthusiast. I don't know if you know that about him, Mike.
Car guy.
The car guy, and also, so here's the thing. I don't know if you probably don't know this, Charles, but Mike just the other day got to test drive a Tesla.
Oh.
Yes.
And we thought we would talk a little bit about that because obviously a Tesla is pretty much a computer on wheels, you know.
Really
It's
is
not
what
pretty
attracts
much.
me
It
to
really is a computer on wheels. Yeah.
Absolutely right. The technology in the car has always been one of the most important features of any vehicle whenever I've looked at them.
So
So
now
are you gonna buy one?
Yeah, well, I had a reservation for a Model S, which is the sedan that's available today.
That's
and
the one that I want. Yeah.
Yes, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and we'll talk about it in detail for those who aren't familiar. But whenever the Model X was announced, which is the crossover, I canceled my reservation for the S and switched to the X, to the crossover. So I currently am reservation number 114 for the crossover electric car.
Now, what do you mean by crossover? What
Well, crossover is a standard term in the industry, not specific to electric cars, but it's kind of a combination between a sedan and an SUV. You look at it, it's just like a small SUV.
Right.
No, that's what it's really kind of the one that I want. So.
Yeah, and the nice thing with the Model X, of course, is it has 3 full rows of seating for how many adults does it get? 7 full adults, I guess, and 4-wheel drive, which is what's kind of attractive to me, especially living up in the mountains of Pennsylvania. We need that periodically.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
It's a sweet-looking vehicle, and the one thing that a lot of people recognize when they see the Model X is the wheels. The back doors. It has what they call falcon wing doors. It's like a gull wing door, but they call it a falcon wing door,
Because
and
they
you
couldn't
can see
steal
it on
that
their
from
website.
from Mercedes, right?
Yes, right. Well, it's very similar to that, but they have an extra hinge in there. If you watch the video or play on their website with the back doors with these gull wing doors, and what it is, Craig, you can imagine some of the Mercedes and what are some of the other vehicles, Mr.
BMW?
Car Guy, that have had those? No, not BMW, but there's been a couple cars through the
The
years.
DeLorean had it.
Yeah, the DeLorean. Perfect. So imagine the DeLorean doors. You know how they lift up instead of
Gull-wing doors.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hinge is at the top of the door instead of on the side of the door,
Yeah.
and looks ridiculous. And so this has that, and except the doors have an extra hinge in them, so that whenever the doors come up, they hinge in a little bit as well, so they don't have to go out quite so far. The idea being that if you're in a parking lot, you can actually still open them without hitting the car next to you.
It's sort of the Lamborghini is like that. They don't have gull-wing, but they pivot open. Huh?
Yes, that's a different kind of pivot. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So they're doing it mostly to look different, I think. They say that it's much more useful in terms of being able to get in and out of the second and third row, and of course it covers you while you go in and out to protect you from rain and snow and that sort of thing.
Now,
But it's interesting.
do the doors open electrically, or they just mechanically hinge up and down? I mean,
No, they are electrical, including even in the Model S. All 4 doors are electrical; they're not mechanical, and so
And
there's
the door handles even they do this cool little.
and even the
recessed.
interior door handles are fly-by-wire, are electrical switch, not mechanical. So there's actually in the Model S underneath the back 2 seats is an emergency mechanical release to be able to open the doors. But even the interior doors are all electrical fly-by-wire. But you're right, Charles. The really cool thing a lot of people notice about even the Model S is the door handles on the exterior. Are on a motor and actually extend as you approach the vehicle and then retract into the vehicle when it's in motion.
I love that thing. I'm telling you, if the only thing I don't love about it is the fact that I am totally going to have to how you say I'm going to have to play the car sound for them when I get it all done. I'm gonna have to totally be like, I'm gonna have to have that large V8 sound playing.
You have to get an MP3 file and just turn the stereo up really loud.
Get out of the
You
way,
just roll down your
my
window and
Tesla.
stick your head out there. Brum, brum, brum.
I think we did a news story a week ago that some of the electrical cars are coming out with MP3 audio files that actually you can, and which are actually a car sound, so to warn pedestrians and people that there's actually a vehicle. Otherwise, it's like a stealth car. You won't know it's
That's
there.
correct. That's correct. And so far, there's been no legislation requiring that, and Tesla's been kind of fighting that. They say that it would be better for the vehicle to detect a particular person and send a sound in that direction rather than just add noise pollution for to everyone.
I'm just gonna add like two 12-inch subwoofers and a 1200-watt amplifier in there, and just every time there's a person hit a button, that's just like boom.
Hey, that'll work.
Oh, dude, look at look at the doors.
Isn't that ridiculous? The doors.
I'm on TeslaMotors.com, and it actually shows the Falcon wings, and it's open, and it says exactly what the first thought that comes to your mind when you scroll down and you see this is whoa. Oh wait, how does it go for aging of ourselves? Whoa.
I'm not looking at the Model S now.
No, the
I
Model
put a
S.
link in the chat room. It's teslamotors.com/Model X, as in X-ray.
I'm looking at it, and wow, look at. I remember that it was just basically a giant Android tablet that
That's
you could
correct,
drive
and a
around,
lot of people call it an iPad, but of course it's more accurate to call it an Android. It is a version of Linux that it's running, and it is a giant 17-inch tablet in the front in place of any buttons. Only buttons.
I'm looking. Okay, the back doors are the ones that have the.
Correct.
The Falcon
Only the back
wings.
doors. Yep, that's correct.
Man, and look how much room is in that thing.
It's a lot of room, and even in the Model S, there's a whole lot of room because you don't have, engines and transmissions and fuel tanks and, all of the other things that usually go along with a vehicle. So even in the Model S, you open up the back and there's tons of storage, and the storage goes deeper than you would expect because it goes into the area that would usually be the fuel tank.
Yeah.
And in the front of the vehicle, you have storage up there because there's no engine, so they have what they call the frunk, which is the front trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you open up the frunk, and in there you have, probably as much storage as many cars that I've owned have had in the back, in the front, in addition to what you have in the back.
So where are the batteries?
Tons of storage.
The battery is actually the entire bottom of the car. It's
correct.
what would normally be the chassis or the frame on other cars, but it's that unutilized gap or airspace that's between the frames, even the unibody frames on most cars, where your feet go. Tesla figured out that you could put a high capacity battery front to rear on these cars, and that's exactly what they did. They reinforced the battery and basically made it the chassis that holds the front wheels and the back wheels together.
So they're utilizing space that normally they would not been they made it part of the chassis, which is
Right. And the really smart thing that Tesla did here is they built it from the start to be a framework or a foundation for other vehicles. So the Model S, if you look at the pictures on Tesla's website of the frame where Charles is talking about the batteries in the bottom and the motors in the front, they have all open space above it. So their idea from the start is that they can use the same chassis for whatever kind of vehicle they want to build on top of it. You know, they had the sedan, the Model S they built on it. They're going to build the Model X on it. There's a lot of talk about them building pickup trucks or delivery vans for, you know, local use on it, and they can use the exact same, you know, engineering and structure and everything of this frame and just build whatever kind of car they want on top of it, because it's just a flat, you know, big old battery.
Then I'm looking here. The first thing they say, the Model X, they have two batteries. They have a 60 and an 85 kilowatt battery. What's the difference between the two, and why are they offering it?
Well, duh, one's bigger than the other.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Come on, Craig, get with the times here.
I know, but what, I mean, are you going to get better?
Longer range is the biggest thing. You know, the problem with true electric cars, and a lot of people are confused. They think that Teslas are hybrids. When they hear electric car, they think hybrid. They think Prius. They think, you know, those sort of things. Mm-hmm. And it's different. These are all the Tesla vehicles are strictly pure electric. There is no gasoline motor in it. There is no transmission in it. There is no backup. It is electric. And I like that, because then there's a lot less maintenance as well. There's a lot less upfront cost. There's a lot less space that's, you know, taking up my storage space. You know, you don't have to worry about oil changes or transmissions going out, or I just had an O2 sensor go out on my car, or any of this other kind, or a catalytic converter. I just had that. All these problems you don't have to deal with an electric car. A lot less.
You're kind of screwed if you're too close to a nuclear power plant, or there's some sort of major catastrophe that results in electromagnetic pulse. Then you're kind of dead.
Well, I'm not sure that my hybrid car sitting in the garage is going to do much better, or for that matter, most modern cars. I think the computers that run them are going to get fried anyway.
Oh darn! This is why I drive a 71 car.
Yeah, see, if you have a 1960s truck, you're probably fine in that case. But David, to answer your question though, Craig, so the 60 kilowatt and 85 kilowatt is just the terms of range. The problem with electric cars for a long time has been that range anxiety. People are worried about how far they can get with it. You know, the typical commute in the U.S. is 50 miles a day, and, you know, mine's a little bit more than that, and Craig's is a little bit less than that. But but you know, this vehicle can go, you know, up to 280 miles on a single charge with the 85 kilowatt battery, and less than that with the smaller one. I'm gonna try and bring up the Model S because they have the actual specs for that, for the two different batteries.
Why would you?
Now, Mike, actually, there's a new trick, because we were running the Hangout. You can actually share that with the world. Mouse over my head, and on the left hand side, the green.
I already was.
Oh, there you go. the green button with an arrow on it. It says share screen. You can select that, and you can actually pull up the website that you're looking at for us to see.
I love it. I love it. Another reason for people to be in the chat room right now.
Exactly.
Start screen share. There we go. Did I do it? Am I brilliant?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a thumbs up. All right, excellent. So, so they have the top 5 questions. So this is the Model S that we're looking at here, and the question is, you know, how far can the vehicle go? And that's what the two different batteries.
On the battery power.
Right. And so it's 265-mile range on the 85 kilowatt, and what is it on the 60? They're not going to tell me there. Their fancy little animation's not going to tell me there. Here, 244 max range, and that's if you don't have air conditioner on or anything else. That's EPA rated range, which we all know is hocus pocus. But 244 miles of range on the 60 kilowatt, 306 on the 85 kilowatt hour. And they actually let you play with it down here if you're doing city driving or highway driving, and how fast you're going, and if you have the air conditioning turned on, and which vehicle you have, and all of that. And you can play with it and see how much actual range you're going to get.
Okay. Now, given that range, because typically an actual gas car is going to get you're going to get about 200 some odd miles before you have to fill up again. An average car. I know I drive a Chrysler, and the Chrysler it's a little 2-door GT car, but the point is, we get about 200 miles before I start feeling worried, and I need to get to a gas station. So that's typically now.
Just drive it till the idiot light comes on.
Yeah, yeah, but you put
when the idiot light comes on,
what my wife does.
100 miles. Yeah.
maybe not. I don't think you do, but the point is, it's a PT Cruiser, by the way, and so. My question to you is that if you're doing that with this car, and I got to fill it up because let's say you're making a trip, you're going from North Carolina, let's say to Florida, which is about 750 miles, and which is usually about 3 gas fill-ups for me on our car, and so what's the story what's the availability of electricity, and how long does it take to recharge the battery, back to a full tank?
Well, Craig, for your particular model, what they're going to make you do is you pull out the all-natural charging station. It's a bicycle that you pedal.
That's really going green.
Yeah.
If you do that, by the way, that's super
beyond green. Super green.
So there's a couple of answers to that. First of all, for your average use, I'll get to your real question of road trips in a second, but for your average use on your everyday day, for me, example, I would come home at night, I'd plug it in, and it would charge up overnight, and then in the morning I have a full 300 miles of range, and it's not often, it's a couple times a year I drive more than 300 miles in a day. But it happens every once in a while, and that's the base of your real question. But on your average day, you would start the morning with 300 miles of range. You'd go about your daily business, wouldn't even have to worry about charging, which is not the case with electric vehicles in the past. Most of them haven't had that kind of range. And then you get home and you plug it in again, and you're good to go. So every day you just start with the full tank, which is really convenient. You don't have to stop at fuel at gas stations, a couple times a month, and waste $60 a tank and all of that. So the problem is, of course, it takes a long time to charge. And if you were completely empty, literally through the night is how long it would usually take an electrical vehicle to charge. They have now, for Teslas, what they call superchargers. Let me see if I can get this screen share working again.
And much like your Camaro, it makes things happen faster.
And I hate the name supercharger just for that reason. It causes a lot of confusion when you're talking to car people who are familiar with superchargers.
Like, I got a supercharger on my Tesla. What?
Yeah.
Problem?
Well, and so what they are is they're basically gas stations for Teslas, and they have I think 100 of them up and running now today. And what they do is, instead of getting 14 miles of range in 30 minutes, you get 170 miles of range in 30 minutes. And so the idea is that if you're doing a long trip, you're going to drive for 2 hours, stop for 20 or 30 minutes and have food and use the restroom and whatever, and then get going again and go another 200 miles. Right there it tells me today there's 91 stations complete in the U.S. And there's the map. So this is the map of the current superchargers that are around. And of course, you can charge Tesla vehicles at any vehicle charging stations, and there are tons of them. There's an awesome website called PlugShare where you can go online and see charging stations in your area. But these are the superchargers that can do it really fast. I
was shocked to see, just how frequent they are. I know that there's several in a Denver metro area, but then there's they're at Walgreens. Like, Walgreens has partnered up with these different stations and have been like, oh, here, we can totally post up these stations anywhere we want them to be, or anywhere we can have a partner, and you can really literally charge these things anywhere. And business owners love it, because if your car is charging for 30 minutes, what are you going to do for 30 minutes? Right. Well, that's absolutely right. And a lot of businesses are doing it and putting it in there for free. Some places charge because it costs $6 to fill up a tank of electric, but some businesses will charge for that. But most of them are offering it for free because they want you there. And the other side of it is, if you're shelling out the money, electric vehicles are expensive right now, especially Teslas. So if you're shelling out the money for that, they're usually the sort of people you want to draw to your business to begin with. And so you're exactly right. And so this is a map I just brought up of PlugShare, and these are the chargers in the area of Denver, and of course downtown Denver is a lot of them. We go up here to the suburbs, and there's still a fair amount. I mean, you can. Yeah, you're not going to be without. Yeah. It really is. So even down here in Castle Rock, my brother-in-law lived down near there. There's one there, and there's 3 over here along the highway, and you don't have to go far. The advantage of the superchargers, which right now only work with Teslas, is that they're much faster. These, you would sit there for hours to get a charge, and. What happened? Is this April 1st? No. So anyhow, the superchargers, and this is where they are right now in the U.S. You can go, and they just did run a couple Teslas from L.A. to New York on the superchargers alone, and many of them are coming soon. And by the end of the year, they're going to have most of the U.S. covered. And then at the end of 2015, a few more. Right. Yeah. Even down in the areas of Alabama and Mississippi that aren't going to be covered by the end of this year, they're going to have covered by the end of next. All right. So it seems to be like if. Oh, and Mike, If you want to turn off your screen share, all you have to do is re-click the green screen share button. Ta-da!
Okay. Well, and it looks really impressive. My only thought is that, again, if I'm, it looks like it's sort of not ready for prime time if you're doing a lot of on-the-road travel. Certainly around town, not a problem.
No, I don't think. I disagree. I think you really just need to prior plan better.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like for me, I could drive from here to Denver and back a couple of times. I could pull that trip off probably 3 times in a week before I needed to charge the car. But I've also gotten into the habit of, and especially if you're from a colder area, where I just pull into the garage and I plug up my car.
Right.
So that becomes, it's not really hard. I mean, you just got to think about it.
You plug it in just to the regular AC outlet?
Yeah.
You can,
Well,
yeah. It takes a long time on the regular AC outlet. Most people who own electric cars get a 240 outlet, like what your dryer would run on, put in the garage just because it's much faster. But you can charge off of just 120s.
Okay.
And you can, like I said, you
How
can
much
get.
faster do you get from 240 than on a 110?
At least twice.
Really?
Yeah, which makes sense, 120 to 240. But I think it might even be a little more than that just for efficiency.
And not
And
only
if you shell out the money to get the supercharger, the only complaint that I have, honestly, and what I think they should be doing is they should make that automatic. Like it should be like it knows you drive into the charging field that is in your garage, and the car starts charging. I think that should totally be automatic. I mean, we've got the wireless charger for our phones. We need just a big wireless charging pad for the garage. But then again, the wireless chargers are all a bunch of magnets, so that would kind of suck if you drop your keys.
Well, there's been a lot of research done on that already, and there are some prototypes of that sort of thing where you pull up onto a parking space or onto a mat and it wirelessly charges your car. The problem, Elon Musk is the guy who runs Tesla Motors. Amazing guy. He's worth a whole different discussion on his own.
Except
but
for
he's
PayPal.
he's the guy who started PayPal, and he runs SpaceX, and he's just an amazing guy.
PayPal's
But he was asked that specifically about what about wireless charging, and the best technology they've been able to find so far for it has about a 10% loss of power in doing the wireless connection. So for every 10 kilowatts that you send to the car, you lose 1, and that's just too much of a loss right now for him to buy into it. They want to try and find something or create something, I suspect, that's going to be more efficient than that, because the idea on it also is to be green and to preserve resources and make them efficient.
Yeah.
And as far as the question Craig had earlier about going on long trips, if you're a person who, for your job, has to travel every day hundreds of miles, electric car may not be the best choice for you, because you will spend more time sitting for a charge, even at a supercharger, than refueling. Whenever I drive a long distance, I can't go more than about 2 or 3 hours without stopping anyway for my bladder and my legs. But if you're someone who can, then this might not be the good solution for you. But on the other hand, maybe it is, because the superchargers are all free. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars in fuel, or maybe more than that if you drive hundreds of miles every day, you can fill up for free, and it might be worth that little bit of extra time for free fuel.
Whoa, that's an excellent point. Now,
why don't they just put a big solar panel on the roof of the thing?
Well, it would take an awful lot of solar panels to be able to create that much power on the car. But what they are talking about doing, and what they have done, is some of the supercharger stations have a roof over the charging bays with solar panels on them that essentially you're charging from solar. And they have batteries actually in the charging stations at the superchargers, because there's not a car plugged in charging 24/7, but the solar panels are creating electricity all day. So they have batteries in the superchargers that charge up from the sun and then put that into your car.
Wow. Hey, I've got a lot more questions, but we're at the bottom of the hour break, and then we'll continue on. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and on the IRN Radio Network. Mike Cermak is our guest for this hour. We're talking about the Tesla car, a computer on wheels. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere, at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No No-No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No-No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No-No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Recognized
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. Their mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy? Hello there, this is your London Minute. Voice memo. The clock's ticking. You've got 72 hours. Welcome to CryptoLocker. 8-month-old, no messing ransomware. Malware expert Joshua Cannell from Malwarebytes was explaining to me that CryptoLocker gets in your computer via a genuine-looking, enticing-looking email attachment. The crooks like using the trick of the double extension attachment, like PDF.exe. To the trained eye, seeing exe would ring alarm bells. To the untrained eye, it would look like an important PDF file to read. If the infected file is opened, certain files are encrypted, very often the Office Suite files. Only access to a public key together with a private key will open them. CryptoLocker leaves a calling card, a countdown clock on the desktop. System restore may help out. Cloud backups are another potential lifesaver. Failing that, there's 4 days to decide whether to reward crime and pay up. They want $100, sometimes $300. After 4 days, the private key is casually deleted, ending hope. CryptoLocker. Nasty, brutish, and short. For some useful links to CryptoLocker and its copycat ransomware cousins, see my Twitter feed. I'm at ComputerTweety. If you like the sound of the London Minute Voice Memo, the Talking Technology column, and you would like your company to sponsor me, get in touch via my website, loveyourcomputer.co.uk. This is Patricia Reichel for Computer America.
Oh, thank you for that one, Patricia. It's weird not having to say that on like a daily basis now that I've been gone. Anyway, we
you find yourself waking in the morning and just saying that anyway?
Yeah, well, you know, brushing my teeth, being like, "Oh, welcome back to the Computer America show." And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Wait, something's not right here." I have lost every window that was important to me there for a second, and I don't know where they all went.
Someone hacked into your computer?
I blame Craig.
How about the window on the wall there? He's lost all his windows. Oh,
yeah, those all run away from me.
Well, anyway, we're talking about the Tesla car that Mike Cermak got to try out and evidently is going to order. He's looking for the Model X, which is the utility version of it. And again, it's an amazing car. I've been playing around with the doors and the animations.
All break. That's all you did. I know it.
No,
it's like click, 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 click.
They take less room than a regular door. You have a car virtually right next to you, and yet you can open the door and get in and out of it.
That's the claim. They say if you can fit between your vehicle and the vehicle next to you, that these doors will work, and probably better than your average door would, because they would have to slide out into that space.
And the doors open electronically. You push a button, and the door pops up.
That's right.
Right. You know. which I think is really slick. And then so we're talking about the battery life and everything, and the 85 kilowatts, and we're talking about, this could be the fact that the super stations don't even charge you to fill. I mean, that means you
Right.
can drive basically for free. Is amazing. What is it charge? What is the charge normally at a regular station to charge this car, or even at your home? If you put in 220 volts, you have the 110 or 220. Which fills faster. I know 220 also costs less. When we put in our electric, heater, we decided to put in a 220 to run some pump, which and it's less expensive to do that. So it's less expensive to use a 220 volts just by the nature of what it is. But on average, what does it cost your electric bill? How does it affect it?
Right. Well, and some electric companies actually give you a discount if you have an electric vehicle, because you can, depending on where you live, a lot of places allow you to get electric rates based on usage. So if you use power, and a lot of them are going this way anyway, if you use power during peak times, they charge you more than if you use it at night. And the nice thing, of course, with electric vehicles is you're usually charging them at night when it's that real low price.
Right.
So some people who got electric vehicles switched to that plan where they get charged based on usage, based on time, and their power bills actually went down.
What's the,
Even though
what's the average cost to fill up a car?
Well, if you figure that if it's completely empty, and I would argue it's very rare that it would be completely empty.
Right.
But just for the sake of argument, if it's completely empty and you have the 60 kilowatt hour battery, that means you need to put 60 kilowatts in there. The average charge, I pay about 11 cents a kilowatt here in Pennsylvania. The average charge around the U.S., I understand, is around 13 cents a kilowatt. So if you figure 60 times 13 cents, that's $7.80.
Wow.
If I did my math right.
Yeah.
And that's assuming you're not on that schedule where it's cheaper at night, and that's also assuming it's actually completely empty, which, wouldn't usually be the case.
And if you're on the road and you're going to one of those regular, not the superstation, but what's the charge going to be the same?
Well, most of them are free, as Charles was saying, because the businesses want to attract people to them. There are some places that charge for them. For example, up in my neck of the woods here, there's a popular gas station called Sheetz, and a lot of the Sheetz gas stations are putting in high-speed chargers into their facilities, which I think is an indication of things to come. I think they see the way this is going to go. But they charge $1. How much do they charge? It costs about $5 or $6 to fill up with them. I don't remember exactly how they do it by time, and I forget exactly what it was in the amount of time. I'll have to look it up now.
All right,
But I
so
don't see the average person using it all that often. I think that by and large you're going to charge it at home, and it's just a couple of times a year you do a road trip where you're probably going to use superchargers and things like that.
Yeah, but even still, you're not going to like even on my motorcycle, my the leg distance of the bike, what I will be stopping at for either overnight or for whatever it is about 200 miles. Like at that
Right.
200-mile mark, my butt says you must stop.
Usually my bladder says it, yeah.
Well, I mean, there are small stops in between there, where you're like, okay, gas, there's lunch at some point, but like my distance total traveled for the day is usually about 200 miles.
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair. And the other thing I think we're going to begin to see, well, we're already beginning to see it. One thing I think we're going to see more of are hotels that have electric vehicle charging stations at the hotel to help attract more people to that particular hotel. I was traveling here about a week ago, and one of the hotels, not the one I was at, but the one next door, had electrical vehicle charging in its garage. And had I had an electric vehicle, I probably would have picked that hotel instead of the one I was in, just for that amenity.
yeah, it's going to attract more customers, obviously. Now, all right, so then the other option is something, the drivetrain options. They have the Model X with the dual motor all-wheel drive, and then they have the Model X Performance with dual motor all-wheel drive. So what these are two different drivetrain options, and what's the difference?
Yeah, there's not technically a drivetrain, but you're right. It's the way that the motor connects in. And so the performance version of the Model S that's out now goes 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, which is awful fast, much faster than I ever need to go.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because a lot of people, I was telling a friend of mine that I was going to get an electric car, and he was saying, boy, those things are so slow. Why would you want to do that? And it's this misunderstanding of it that, in fact, they're very fast. You can imagine when you get in a golf cart and you hit the gas, I mean, that thing has a lot of torque right away and all the time. It's fast. There's none of that delay for the transmission and to build up the RPMs and all that before you get
Right.
to go. It's instant. You hit it and it goes. Just like you think of a remote control car. You hit go and it's instant torque continuously.
Well, of course,
And
there are no gears that are shifting.
exactly. There's no RPM to build up in the engine, and then you don't have to wait for it to get down to the transmission, and then to get to the exactly. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's just instant right to the wheels.
So there are no gears going on here at all. Then I mean, there's no first, second, third drive. There's that with electric cars.
That's correct. Yep. Right.
All right. So what is this performance option?
So that's what that does. It gives you the faster speed. If you don't get the performance, I think the Model S 0 to 60 is 5 point something seconds, but the performance is 4.2. And so it's for those people like Charles probably who are real gearheads and really want to be able to perform and show off and get speeding tickets. And
well, first of all, if you've ever driven an electric car, like I drove one at CES, I've driven. I drove the when I was about 100 pounds lighter, drove the Tesla the Spider, the little one.
The Roadster.
Yeah, they let you have that in a parking lot, and I knew something was up when you step into the parking lot, and they've literally cleared from one end of the parking lot to the other end of the parking lot. There's nothing, and there are cones, And
it's so funny how there's still that misnomer. There's still that so many people think electric cars are slow.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. Like you stomp on that thing, it's immediate response, and you're gone.
Right.
And by the time the person realizes he just got stomped by the by the iRobot version of the Prius, is when they realize, oh, I need to hold down my pedal a little while longer to catch up to this guy, and the race is over. So I mean, they're not slow by any means.
So now, do you pay? Is there an overhead when you get the performance model? Is that going to cut down on the total amount of miles you can travel? With
no, it doesn't. It doesn't affect your range at all. It's just a matter of having that extra performance if you want to go really fast. Now, I should say, if you have the performance model and drive it as if it's not a performance model, it gets the same range. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have the performance model and drive it like Charles, that uses more power and you'll get less range. So if you at every stoplight gun it and go 0 to 60 in 4.2, I'm sure
you're only going to get 100 miles. Yeah.
Which I would also point out is the same for gas-powered cars.
Yeah.
Gun it at every.
Honestly, I just want to get one. I just want to do it so that it's like the guy that like right now I have the person who pulls up next to me on a regular basis when I'm in Lorraine, my 442, and he pulls up in his little WRX or his little riced out Civic, pulls up to the light with his girlfriend in the seat, and it's like win, and I'm like, my engine is bigger than your whole car, but I'll play your little game. Light turns green and it's dropped, just, and then when I get to the next stoplight, the guy doesn't even look at me. So that's the same kind of shame I want to put on. I don't want you to hear it at this point. Now it's just like.
Well, and that's the funny thing. I was talking to a guy who owns a Tesla Model S, and he was saying that frequently there's people who you come out of the restaurant, there's people looking at your car. That's a pretty common thing right now because they are unusual cars at the moment. And he said that there was one time he walked out and this guy was looking at it, and he said, "Oh, I'm so glad you came out." He says, "I was hoping you would come out because I couldn't wait to hear it when it starts up." And he said, "Well, it sounds pretty much the same as when it's sitting there now."
I would have looked at him and been like, it is running.
Yeah.
So, Charles, what you're saying is you'd rather have it and not have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly. I mean, they're quiet cars, and I honestly, I'm an audiobook fan. Like, I know, Craig, we had this big debate about whether you've read the book or not if you listen to it, right?
It counts.
It counts. But having a silent car, it's pretty cool. I mean,
it's totally silent, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing is they had this idea at one point to put some sort of sound to the cars so that people who were harder, who couldn't see or whatever, pedestrians, they would actually know when it was coming because it's just like you hear what just happened. He got hit by a Tesla.
Yeah, hit by a Tesla.
And actually, they've currently got this additional stigma about the whole. Remember the whole battery issue that happened, Mike, where they were on fire?
Yes. So there's been three major fires in a Tesla Model S, and in two of the cases, one of them was in Mexico and was kind of interesting. The guy was going like 100 miles an hour and went through a concrete barrier and then landed in a tree or something, and then the batteries caught fire. He got out of the car. He was fine.
Wait, that was totally the Tesla's fault, though.
Yeah, so that one that not many people point to. The ones that most people point to are the two that were on the highway, and in both cases there was a big chunk of metal that was on the road. In one case, it was a hitch off of a trailer, off of a truck, that so you could hook up a trailer, I guess. So this big piece of metal, this hitch, was on the ground and moved at such an angle that as the vehicle went over it, physics caused it to have quite a bit of strength and push up and puncture into one of the battery compartments. And then as a result, the driver got an alert up on the screen saying that the battery compartment is compromised, pull over, and he pulled over, and then a couple of minutes later the thing caught on fire. And
now,
I
want to pause right there, because that's the part that everybody glances over. Everybody does. Find me a gas-powered car that will tell you something's not right here, you should probably get the hell out.
Right.
Not one.
And no one has been killed or seriously injured in a Tesla vehicle yet. That will change someday, of course. Someone will manage to kill themselves. But as of right now, that hasn't happened, and including in any of the fires. And the two fires that happened, both of them were these unusual circumstances with the metal going in, and in both cases it warned the people, and they got off the road and got out, and a couple minutes later there were fire. And in both cases, no fire actually ever entered the passenger compartment, even after they'd gotten out. It was secured.
And there was no explosion.
And there's no explosion. And the other thing is that they point out that there's far more potential for an explosion with a big gas full of fuel and fumes than there is electric batteries. No one really thinks about that you're driving around with all of that in your vehicle already. But what they have done in the meantime, because of this concern, is they've changed the warranty. The warranty now covers fire damage. So if it does catch fire, even from driving over something, it's covered by the warranty. And then the other thing is that they've recently added reinforcement. There's titanium reinforcement plates now that are under the batteries that weren't there when these events happened. This is a recent addition within the last month or two.
And I thought this was great.
And so now they have videos on their website and their blog of driving over a hitch and a concrete block and all these other things.
That was the beautiful thing. It wasn't a video, because on the video, you have to push play and everything. So they actually made a GIF out of it.
Oh, did they really?
Like, you're guaranteed to watch this. Like, look, people. Elon Musk was like, "Yo, check this out."
Yeah, of course.
GIF, people.
They're trying to address these concerns. I don't know that it's that legitimate, and they point out that per mile driven, if you look at however many millions of miles have been driven in a Tesla versus an average gas vehicle, that there's been 5 times more vehicle fires in gas-powered vehicles than in electric-powered vehicles based on miles driven, which I think is a fair way to compare it. And so it's it's a silly thing, but it's something that people focused on. So anyhow.
And, in my opinion, it was just big oil being scared that Tesla they're going to creep up. And I mean, honestly, look at all the other manufacturers who followed very quick. BMW, Nissan, Ford. They all followed suit, saying consumers want this. This is where they want to go. Henry Ford said it. If I gave consumers what they wanted, they'd just want faster horses.
That's correct. That's a good quote. I love that. And I think that the problem, Charles, is not that consumers want this. I think that a lot of consumers don't know that they want this yet. I think that there's been I think electric cars didn't have a great start to begin with. They did have low range. They did have some problems getting started, slow charge times. But I think a lot of that has been addressed, and I think that it is something consumers should want, but there's still this distaste for it. I think a lot of people don't like it for no good reason, and I'm hoping that will change over time, over the next couple of years, as these things become more common.
Well, remember, people didn't like the automobile when it first came out.
Do you think the battery technology? What battery is it? Is it lithium-ion? What are they using?
It is lithium-ion.
All right, so it's lithium-ion technology, so it doesn't have all the the memory problems with the old NiCads and everything. Lead-acid battery. So it's lithium-ion, which is pretty much the batteries that we have in our
everything.
Yeah, right. Gold 5S has a lithium-ion battery. So this is the first time, Charles. So I guess my point to you is that as the technology continues to improve, will these gas stations, these recharging stations, will they basically be the same, and the cars are just going to charge faster and more quickly? Are they going to have to make any changes to the stations themselves?
Oh, yes. Well, they will probably. I mean, at least swap out some hardware. The superchargers that are up there now, are delivering an awful lot of electricity very quickly. I don't foresee any giant leap in that anytime soon. I think, not to confuse matters, but for your average electric car, there's 3 levels of charging. They call them level 1, level 2, level 3 chargers. Most places have at least a level 2, which is still awfully slow. Level 3 charging is actually direct DC to the charger. So instead of putting AC into the car, you have a charger that changes the AC to DC and then sends DC directly into the car, which is much, much, much faster. I think we're going to see a lot of existing level 2 stations get upgraded to level 3, but it's not it's not like changing fuel pumps. I mean, it's a little bit easier than that. And the other thing, and maybe I don't want to get into this too much, is that people always ask me about the hydrogen cars. And part of the problem with the hydrogen charge, they can refuel quickly, but there's no place to do it. I think last time I looked, I think there were 7 stations in the U.S., 1 in Florida and 6 in California, where you could refuel a hydrogen car. And
where can you even buy a hydrogen car?
Well, that's another problem, of course, is you can't. Now, I was talking to someone at Toyota about 2 months ago, and they were telling me that they are going to have hydrogen cars for sale in California by the end of this year, which is awesome. I'm all for. I'm a green guy. I got solar panels on the roof here and at the office, and I'm into that. And hydrogen is interesting and can reduce greenhouse emissions a little bit, not as much as electric, but I can get into all that later. But the problem I wanted to point out is as far as infrastructure goes, as far as upgrading gas stations to be able to have electric charging, the infrastructure for electricity is already there. I have 7 places where I could charge an electric car in my living room. Let alone 7 in the U.S. And it's slower, but the infrastructure is already there. So if you wanted to put a charging station anywhere in the U.S., as long as you've got electric there, you can do it. You can make the argument you want to upgrade it to 240 or 220. That's fine, but it's the infrastructure for hydrogen. You have to get the hydrogen, make it into a useful substance, which costs electricity. Then you have to put it in trucks and send it to gas stations. It's just incredibly inefficient, and there's no gas stations to send it to yet.
So are you telling me that this is another example of Tesla versus Edison?
It kind of is.
Got the better solution and the more widespread, easily adaptable solution, and Edison had the more infrastructure, more build to get there, and Edison won because they said Tesla was crazy, but he was not. So.
You're right. I think you're right, and it's interesting. I recommend people watch there's a documentary called "Who Killed the Electric Car." And then there's a Return of the Electric Car, and they're fascinating. And I think there's some truth to it. I think that the Toyota and a lot of these manufacturers who are building the hydrogen vehicles don't genuinely believe that they're going to be the next big thing anytime soon, at least. Not in the next, I would venture to say in the next 10 years, I'm still not going to have a place anywhere near where I live here in Pennsylvania to be able to refuel a hydrogen car. And I think in the next 10 years, we're going to see huge jumps in electric vehicles, in battery performance and capacity and charging speeds and price. The price of batteries are going to go down over the next 10 years versus gas. I don't think I can say that for gas. And it's just, anyhow, I think that it's so clearly the future that it's just sad for me that a lot of people really just don't see it yet.
And of course, mechanics, the business of being a mechanic, that's going to so quickly change as well. I mean,
now you just have to be comfortable with dealing with high voltage. Think about it now. The guys that work on the hybrids, they've got to go back to school and get a whole nother certification for dealing with the components that connect those two together. So it's not even a huge leap. Now you've got to be an electrician as well as a mechanic. And in the zombie apocalypse, it's great.
And even before the hybrid vehicles, cars are being run largely by computer to begin with. Maybe not so obvious to the user interface aspect of it, but to the mechanic trying to work on it. And the other thing about the zombie apocalypse is I think the Tesla would be an excellent zombie apocalypse vehicle because you can charge it off of solar panels. You don't have to worry about someone going out there and getting oil and refining it and turning it into gas and delivering it to your gas station. I have solar panels on my roof. I plug it in there. 10 years into the zombie apocalypse, I'm still going to be cruising around in my Tesla.
Mm-hmm. And You don't have to worry about the walkers hearing you and coming after you.
Excellent point. That's a great point.
This is the real reason why Mike Cermak is getting a Tesla.
Exactly.
The truth comes out at the end. You see?
We're not arming in my house. We're not arming and teaching everyone to shoot because we think there's going to be some sort of revolution or some sort of thing going on, or even for recreation or anything like that. We're doing it because the zombie apocalypse is coming,
Right.
and when it does, I want everyone to be prepared.
There's no denying it.
No, this is zombie apocalypse.
I'll drive out and visit you then.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what we need to do, Mike? We need to approach as Computer America and Craig. We need to approach Tesla and be like, you know what? You guys should be the official car of the zombie apocalypse.
I think so. I think it's a great idea.
Have them put it onto AMC's The Walking Dead. Have a Tesla just magically appear. Just be like, look.
They should have one on there and point out all of those benefits. Exactly as you said. Quiet, doesn't attract zombies. You can charge it off of solar.
I mean, you could even have, who's the guy? The one that rides the motorcycle. I think that's amazing. The guy that uses the crossbow, Daryl. He uses the crossbow to not make any noise, but then drives that loud Harley. It's like, dude.
Well, and I think the other advantage, not to get a little bit off topic, I think the other advantage of crossbows is the refueling ability. Mm-hmm. Finding bullets is a limited supply, but with the crossbow, you go and pull your bullet right back out of the guy, and you're ready to go again.
Yep, and then use it.
Not that I've thought about this a lot. Not that I've watched every episode of The Walking Dead, but
I'm telling you that my zombie apocalypse toolkit is an AR-15, a samurai sword, or an axe. They've actually, if you go on ThinkGeek, they've got this one tool where it's a bottle opener, a pry bar, a hammer, I think a screwdriver, and a blade, probably about a foot long, and it's the zombie apocalypse universal tool. And I'm like, that's mine. Yep.
That's perfect. Hey, one other thing I wanted to mention before we run out of time. Mm-hmm. Someone had mentioned in the chat room about burning corn and other things that have been used for fuel sources. And the thing I didn't mention that I really enjoy also with electric vehicles is that they can be powered from just about anything. Whether the electricity comes from solar in my case, or from nuclear, or from natural gas, or hydroelectric, or wherever the power is coming from. Or if you can manage to get zombies onto a wheel, running in place, I think that could work.
Wait, didn't they do that?
Yeah, probably. I don't remember that, but possibly. But but whatever it is, wherever you're getting the electricity or wind, we have a lot of wind farms in Pennsylvania now. Wherever you're getting it from, you can power the car on it. You're not limited to just this oil you can pull out of the ground and then refine. And there's something else I was going to say about it as well, but anyhow, that's just another benefit for electric versus all these other things that are out there, including hydrogen. That's a lot harder to generate.
The closer we get to this utopia where we generate our own energy and we're not connected to fossil fuels, there are just two things that pop into my head. Agent Smith popping up,
right?
And then, Skynet becoming self-aware. But it's not going to be called Skynet. It's going to be called Google.
Well, of course, yeah, that's already beginning to happen, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And the other scary thing with vehicles becoming more and more computer-based is that Charles can hack into it.
Wait, don't move, Mike.
They've had, and Charles might enjoy this, there's been someone who wrote an app for Google Glass to be able to control parts of the Tesla, obviously not drive it, but you can turn it on remotely and turn on air conditioning and beep the horn and all of that, and using Google Glass.
Yep. It was I think it was the same guys that figured out how the internal intranet of a car works, and they were able to hack the Prius.
Right.
Hey, Mike, listen, we're almost out of time. Tell a little bit about techguy.org.
So there's a website I run called Tech Support Guy. It's at techguy.org, or I think there's still a link on Computer America.
Yes, there is, of course.
Go there and check it out. We have volunteers who will help you with computer problems, not so much in the car area, but on the computers. If you're using Windows 8 all of a sudden, or Windows 7 still, or whatever, you need any help removing viruses, installing a printer, handling that error message, you can go in there, post your question. It's all for free, and a volunteer will reply back and give you some advice and try and help you out.
Mike, you need to get on that right now and get the Tesla support forum.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah. Capitalize on that now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tesla, the official car of the zombie apocalypse.
And techguy.org.
There you go.
Exactly. Well, Mike, listen.
If they give you any for free, you have to give me one. Just saying.
That's a deal, Charles. If I get more than one for free, guaranteed you'll get the second one.
All right. Okay.
I wouldn't hold your breath though. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
All right, Mike. Well, listen, thanks so much for being with us here on the show. Mike Cermak, also in our chat room. Although Charles isn't in there, Mike's in there.
I was there.
And we got another hour of the Computer America show coming up. Again, thanks, Mike, for being with us, okay?
Are you sure?
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Take care. We got computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities coming up in hour 2. Stay with us.
Oh, I guess not.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host,
Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, constantly preparing for the zombie apocalypse, Charles Tendell.
Wasn't that one of them? Okay. There you go. Of course, Mike Cermak with us in the first hour, and really, we talk about computers and technology, but when I say computers and technology, well, that covers other things. That in the and certainly electric cars are certainly fall easily into the category. And if you're thinking about it, or even not thinking about it, maybe you should be thinking about getting an electric car. Certainly, you might want to listen to the first hour. You can listen to all of our shows at blogtalkradio.net. They're archived there, and so you can listen to them at any time. And of course, our video archives are also we go back about a month and a half now since we started doing it, and you can listen to all of our shows. And of course, our live video streaming is brought to you by Other World Computing. That's right. Quality products, expert support since 1988, now celebrating its 25th anniversary. Please visit them at www.macsales.com for all your needs. Yeah, Apple needs. So,
I think we're supposed to do something about news now. I know this. I'm not sure what that is.
Don't you think? Do you think that you might get an electric car?
Actually, it is.
Not hybrid.
No. We don't do anything hybrid in this family. So my wife wants a hybrid. She wants her criteria is it's got to have a lot of buttons. But every single time I see the Tesla Model S, every time I see it, I'm like, my God, that is a gorgeous car. It's just visually appealing. It is a functional car, and I'm all about function. And Mike pointed out a lot of good things. The zombie apocalypse, I don't have to worry about your gas station.
Yeah, but I would go with the X. I mean, that's even.
Yeah, the all-wheel drive one, but the X, what he didn't point out is they're not going to be out until the end of 2015.
Really?
Yeah, I went on the website and was going to register for their waiting list, and it says expected June 2015.
Are you sure? Maybe it's a misprint.
Could be. Let me check. I'll look.
But I love the way the doors open. I mean, it's a cool car. Look, if I can get past the the long road trip thing.
Well, I mean, think about this. You only make that long road trip twice a year?
Maybe, yeah.
See, twice a year, you'd be fine. You'd be totally fine. Yeah. See, his delivery estimate for your new reservation is summer 2015.
Well, maybe by then I'll be ready for the car.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm being here in Colorado. The snow, that would be so awesome to have a Tesla, crossover.
Mm-hmm.
It is beautiful. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I mean,
about the handle again. So as you walk toward the door, and it just senses your
right. You've got the fob in your.
Oh, the fob does it.
Yeah, the fob that's in your pocket, and this is the beautiful thing. There are no keys.
Right.
It's just the fob. It's both the beautiful thing and a scary thing. But if you look at all of the pictures, there are no door lock. There's no outside door lock on the car whatsoever. So you walk up to the car, it senses the fob, and it extends the door handles. The car unlocks and it extends the door handles, and then you get into the car and you push a button, and it I don't even know if you want to call it on. It boots up. you know, and it boots up very quickly.
Wow.
I mean, trust me, I am looking forward to it, and I honestly, when they came out with the Model S, you know, when they had the small one, when they had the little one, I was like, you know, that car by itself is just entirely, it's too much. You know, the little one was $60,000 or something like that, and it was horrible. I was like, you know, it costs too much. It's too much of a pain, and it's not practical. You know, it's this tiny little roadster that you and like your girlfriend could get in. You know, and that's it. You know, but when they came out with the Model S, and the Model S turned out to be the whatchamacallit, normal car price. Immediately, I was like, they did it.
What are they asking for? What is it?
For the Tesla Model S with the performance package, they put on it is what is it up here at? It is at $93,000. With a 265-mile range. With the regular 85 kilowatt hour battery, it is $79,000. But the absolute base model is $69,000. Now, again, what this thing comes with it in the standard, you know, like you can add the spoiler to the thing. It already comes with the Tesla red brake calipers. That's awesome. It's supercharger enabled. You can get dual chargers for it. You can get the wall connector for it. You can get the full tech package that has the onboard maps and everything. You know, smart air suspension. I recommend you avoid that. Parking sensors, fog lights. You know, ultra high fidelity sound. Definitely, yeah. You should definitely get that one. You know, you can get the leather package. You know, it's just everything that comes in this car is like perfect, and you can even get like rear-facing seats and lighting. And I mean, it's like buying your normal luxury car, right? You're buying your normal luxury car, you know, without the gas. The extra couple of $1,000s that you spend on this car, right? The extra $10,000 so you spend on this car to get like the highest rated epic package on the thing, right? Is 100% worth it because you make it back, you know, almost overnight. Like the first time you don't have to go to the charging station, to the gas station, you're done.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, does this have one of the things? Let's say if you live in colder weather or you live in warmer weather, can you start the car and so the air conditioning or the heater will be running? So when you get into the car, it'll already be, you know, warm and toasty or ice.
Oddly, there's an app for that. You know, you don't have to order in a whatchamacallit. You don't have to order it. You don't have to special order it. There's just an app. You download the app. And I'm actually on their website right now with the P85, 85 kilowatt hour performance one, 416 horsepower, 4.2 seconds 0 to 60, 130 mile an hour top speed, high performance drive inviter, carbon fiber, Tesla red brake calipers, all of the stuff that comes with it, with every feature available on their website. $93,000, $93,400.
That's the sticker price.
That's the sticker price. Well, that's the other thing. This is the other reason why Tesla is so successful and why they can actually do this. Okay, they have dealerships, but they're limited. Like they're not you can't walk onto a Tesla dealership and be like, oh, I want to test drive all of these. You can do that, but you have to be in an area where there is a Tesla dealership. I'm on their website and I can order it and have it delivered to my house. You know, and I'm like, this is great. You know, I would
I wouldn't buy a car until I test drove it, you know, and try it.
Well, I would definitely test drive it. Yeah, I would definitely go and test drive it. But, you know, it's really one of those things. Let's see, request a test drive. Test drives are available from any of our Tesla store locations. Each drive includes one-on-one walkthrough of the Model S, so you'll have an opportunity to learn more about electric vehicles as you do all that. Let's see where all the Tesla stores are. Oh, I know where the one here in Denver is, Park Meadows. Now, that pissed off so many people. That was amazing. I was in love. You can buy a Tesla in a mall. Like you go into the mall like you're about to buy a pair of shoes, and it's there. You know.
And the thing, so you can do that, but you know, again, there's no middleman. In other words, there's no dealer. A car.
Right.
You know,
there are no dealer fees, nothing.
So the sticker price is the price, is what it is.
It is.
Now,
I mean, honestly, I really want one. I really, really do.
Is there a used Tesla market, or you trade the Tesla in for the next model up?
I don't know. I wonder if there is a Tesla. Let's go to my trusty favorite place here. Let's see. Craigslist.org.
Yeah.
If I find a Tesla on here, I'm gonna have to pause for a minute because let's see. TSLA. No, we've got a bunch of people trying to get a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Where does it say Tesla in here?
Nope.
Oh no, he put it as his keywords.
Yeah.
But this is cool. It's something else that I want to add to my collection for no real reason. A Porsche Cayenne.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I have absolutely no need for this car whatsoever. But
maybe they have a toy version or something.
Version.
Yeah. A model. So you can just.
They do. It's a Model S.
Yeah. Let's do some computer news. Okay.
Let's do it.
Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free.
Free!
You remembered.
You've been missing that. That's the only reason you want me back. Like you need a sound. Now you need a sound bite for that.
Exactly.
It's like Charles is not here.
Yeah, everything at the Slimware Utilities website is absolutely free. It will do. Really, it'll do everything. It'll, clean up, speed, optimize your Windows system. There's no freemium version. The version you download is the version that you get, and it works. That's why we suggest that you use all of them. They do a wonderful job. We use them here at the Crossman household, and so download all of them, use them all, and you'll thank us for putting you onto them. Really.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started with some of the news stories here. This first one is there's a Chrome show, according to Giga. Intel is happy to power your next Chromebook. Whoa!
They already power most of them.
Yeah, it's late and short and short podcast this weekend. We're traveling for meetings. This is from GigaOM. While flying around the country, Google and Intel held a joint press event with news of up to 20 new Chrome OS devices this year, some of which were announced prior. Intel is touting up to 11 hours of battery life with its new Bay Trail chips, but you'll also see Chromebooks with Core i3 processors as well. Lenovo was among the first to announce new devices, and in the meantime, one of the other members of the GigaOM team is testing the Dell Chromebook 11 and finding it to be a great device for the price. So there you go.
Cool.
Okay. You like your Chromebook.
I do, actually. I love my Chromebook. It is like the perfect traveler. I didn't plug it in all weekend long, like even when we did the show on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Didn't plug it in at all the entire weekend, and when we got back, it still had like a 50% battery on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then again, I didn't really use it, but
Well, yeah.
I'm still shopping for my Tesla. And
yeah. All right. Hold
on. I just want to finish clicking this one box.
Okay.
See how much it's going to cost me to do that one. So let's do. This one is because it's just right up my alley, and it totally works for Charles. From CNET.com, hackers nabbed data on 1.3 million Orange Telco customers. Okay. Europe's fourth largest telco says no payment information was stolen, but warns what just happened here?
What?
Well, the Mac just took over my screen and it's not happy. What just happened? Go back. There we go. Sorry. No information, but warns they could be targeted for scams. Let's see. French telecommunications group Orange said Wednesday that a breach last month resulted in the theft of the personal information of 1.3 million of its customers, including phone numbers, dates of birth, and email addresses. No payment information or credit card numbers were stolen in the breach, but the Paris-based company sent emails to affected customers warning that they may be targeted by phishing scams that attempt to extract more sensitive financial information, such as credit card numbers or passwords. Mm-hmm. The data recovered could be used to contact those to contact those concerned by email, SMS, or by phone, particularly for phishing purposes, the group warned in a statement. The breach, Orange's second in 3 months, comes at a time of heightened attention on companies' cybersecurity procedures. Companies have been busy reinforcing their defenses in the wake of the massive security breach at U.S. retailer Target and the revelation that the Heartbleed bug left unencrypted information available for the taking from web servers. The breach was detected April 18th, but Orange said customers' notification was delayed to allow for investigation and repair of the issue. Orange also reported in February that the personal information of about 800,000 of its customers was stolen in a similar attack in January. Both hacks came not long after Orange CEO signed a charter in which the company pledged to protect its customers' personal data and respect their privacy. Like retailers, telecoms have also been targeted by hackers for the valuable personal information they hold. Vodafone Group's German unit revealed last September that the personal data of 2 million of its customers had been exposed in a hack. And this is exactly why I focus on consumer cybersecurity.
Yeah, really, exactly. Now these are all European based, but obviously things like this can.
Oh, it's coming. I mean, here's the other thing. Many U.S. companies, they've got insurance, so what they have to do before they do all this, they consult with the council. You know, like the Target breach, they knew a month before they actually told the world. You know, and they continue to do that. That's how they work here. They make sure that they've got the legal standpoint and everything else to cover themselves when it does finally break. You know.
Well, yeah, no.
And I'm going to go back to shopping for my Model S. I don't need rear-facing seats unless, do you and Cynthia want to go for a ride in my Model S when we get it with the rear-facing seats?
Absolutely.
You look like you get. They look like you get strapped in. It's like being strapped into the space shuttle or something.
According to
Business
Insider, Apple's rumored 4.7-inch iPhone 6 may already be in production.
Somehow I knew you were going to get that one.
Well, Apple's still probably months away from releasing its next smartphone, probably. But two new reports are suggesting that iPhone 6 production is well underway. A new report from Taiwan's Industrial and Commercial Times, which was first spotted by Mac Rumors, indicates that one of Apple's suppliers is already getting iPhone 6 orders. Wow. Apple supplier Pegatron has reportedly received 15% of the orders for Apple's rumored 4.7-inch iPhone 5S successor. Now, Pegatron is expected to produce a total of 50 million Apple smartphones this year, which would include iPhone 6, iPhone 5C, and iPhone 4S units, according to the report. At the same time, another Apple supplier, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, has reportedly received the first batch of Touch ID fingerprint sensors for the iPhone 6 and next-generation iPad Air and iPad mini devices. It's important to keep in mind that these Taiwanese reports don't always reflect Apple's production cycle. Oftentimes, the information comes from an unnamed industry source and is subject to change, and that is if it's even accurate in the first place. The reports do align with information reported by Reuters last month that said Apple could start ramping up production for its next-generation iPhones as early as May. Apple is expected to release two new versions of the iPhone this year, one with a 4.7-inch screen and another with an even larger 5.5-inch display. The 5.5-inch version may be delayed until next year, however, as Reuters reports that Apple was having difficulties producing displays using its in-cell technology at that particular size. Both phones would represent a noticeable increase in size from the 4-inch screens on Apple's current generation iPhone 5S and iPhone 5C. So there you go. So maybe they are making a larger phone.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I hope they don't. Now, here's one thing. Okay, so I switched back to my iPhone. Yes, I know. Go ahead and make the Android joke.
Mm-hmm.
But I switched back to the I switched back to my iPhone because, there's just some things that I want to do, and, I felt like going back for a little bit. the battery life on this thing, in large part because the screen is so small, lasts for days. My Android only lasts for maybe a day. So, I hope they don't.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn.
Let's see. Only because this is big stuff, and I'm actually enjoying watching all this banter back and forth because, people like to bash on it because it's something new and they don't want to play with it. But from TechCrunch.com, SEC, or the Security Exchange Commission, publishes laundry list of Bitcoin risks, cites governmental regulation as a potential headache. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, doesn't appear to be Bitcoin's biggest fan. No federal agency is because you haven't figured out how to tax it yet. Today, the government agency published a long list of potential risks that Bitcoin presents, and it's quite the document. After saying that Bitcoin is used like money, the SEC goes on to point out that the IRS recently issued guidance stating that it will treat virtual currencies such as Bitcoin as property for federal tax purposes. The SEC also noted that government regulation could be an investment risk for the cryptocurrency. Bitcoins are not legal tender. Federal, state, or foreign governments may restrict the use and exchange of Bitcoin. Most of the SEC's points apply to anything. Beware of high-pressure sales pitches, unlicensed vendors, and the like. Some, on the other hand, are very specific to Bitcoin itself. The SEC directly mentions Mt. Gox. Thank you for ruining that. Bitcoin exchange in Japan called Mt. Gox recently failed after hackers apparently stole Bitcoins worth hundreds of millions of dollars from the exchange. Mt. Gox subsequently filed for bankruptcy. Many Bitcoin users participating on the exchange are left with little recourse. It's worth noting that the SEC largely appears to understand the risk that Bitcoin amply presents to investors. A venture capitalist with a taste for Bitcoin has a slightly different spin on the release. And in the Twitter release, it's in the Twitter tweet. What are those things called? Tweets? Yeah. SEC on Bitcoin, investor.gov news alerts, TLDR equals, it's super risky, ask superfan, aka super fun, which is great, and I enjoy it a lot. Both parties are correct in the amply swinging markets that we find the real spark. Warren Buffett, after all, wouldn't make very good television without the billions.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I am still a huge fan of Bitcoin. We are actually trying to figure out a way to make all of our purchases on the site completely Bitcoin, or make all of our transactions completely in Bitcoin. But there's no seamless transition. There's no way to go from credit card to Bitcoin, as it were, right now. So.
Well, I mean, you have a company. Some companies are actually paying employees in Bitcoin.
I heard about this.
Yeah, but it's it's complicated. According to this story, yeah, direct deposit, stock options, and the traditional paycheck are all outmoded. The future of employee wages, apparently, is Bitcoin. At least that's how Bitwage, a virtual currency payroll firm, feels about it. Bitwage reached out to 150 Bitcoin-friendly companies to see how they felt about implementing a Bitcoin-based payroll. Of the 38 that responded, nearly half have considered it, and about 10%, read 4 companies after the math, have already done it. It's a novel idea, but the payroll company's own survey highlights some of the problems. The virtual currency isn't recognized as legal tender in most countries, which makes it incompatible with several European wage regulations. Companies would have to deal with the crypto coin's curious tax status too, though Bitwage helpfully points out that there are firms, wink wink, nudge nudge, that can help with that sort of thing. So there you go. So, well, how would you
want to get paid in Bitcoin?
No.
Why not?
You have to pay the bills.
You could pay the bills with Bitcoin.
How? I got an electric bill coming in. How do I pay that with Bitcoin?
Well, there are online exchanges where you would give them your Bitcoin and they would either cut you a check or directly pay your electric company. So you'd send them, they'd take it out of your Bitcoin wallet and they'd pay your electric company in the currency of their choice.
But then they take a bite out of it too, right? I mean,
Yeah, there is a small fee, but it's usually only like 1% of the transaction or anything like that. Like for like what we're actually considering to doing with the transaction thing, we would end up paying for the merchant like $30 a month, and this is who is it? BitPay.com. $30 a month for their lowest package. We can process up to $10,000 in Bitcoin a day, and there is a 1% or 0.01% fee per transaction.
Okay. Would you get paid in Bitcoin?
I would.
Would?
I would, because I know of all the places. The only thing I haven't figured out yet is how to buy a MacBook Pro all decked out with just Bitcoin.
So you don't feel any risk of it. If this was, let's say you're an employee and this was your only source of income. Okay, you're working, you do a 9-to-5 job, and they say, well, we'll pay you in Bitcoin. I don't know. What should you feel secure about that? I mean, it might take.
I think of it like this: because of the fluctuations in Bitcoin right now, what they pay me tomorrow could be 1 Bitcoin, right? My weekly rate would be 1 Bitcoin, right? That's fine if that's what it is, and that's that's like $400 in the U.S. currency. I can either go right then and cash it out and use that. Or the very next day, we might run into that super spike, like when Overstock decided they wanted to use it, when Amazon decides they want to use it, when it becomes a portion of, say, Google Wallet. The price of Bitcoin is going to go through the roof. And with Mt. Gox having gone under and those millions of Bitcoins falling back into the market, or getting wherever they ended up, the rate is kind of low. But remember, we just talked about this, 2 months ago? The value of one single Bitcoin was $1,000.
Yeah.
And if we get back up to that, wow, cash that one out. And as an employee, it's like being paid in stocks.
Yeah.
Micro stocks.
Well, you would have, but again, if you're an employee, if you rely on your paycheck to live your life. I mean, it's nice. One thing if you have you have some money stashed away and you want to save, but if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, as so many people do, then perhaps maybe this is not the best idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have some wiggle room, and you want to, and play around with this, sure. But if you're living in, in such a manner that you rely on your weekly paycheck to pay bills and health insurance, and you have kids, and this might not be a wise thing to do.
Yeah.
That would be my opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rely solely on it. I would definitely encourage you to have a hardcore backup.
Yeah.
A real world tangible currency. I mean, what I'm waiting for is the day when we're not carrying cards, we're not dealing in cash, we are just dealing in something that's all electronic, like on our mobile devices, and that's that. When a mobile copy of your driver's license or anything like that becomes acceptable to where I don't have to carry a freaking wallet anymore. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I think that's the situation, at least for now. I mean, again, if you play the stock market and you're fairly well off and you have some money to kind of play with, yeah, okay, but not if you're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, all right, okay.
My turn. So let's go. So because we're on the kick of digital currencies and alternate ways of doing something, Google Wallet on Android now juggles all your internet accounts. This one from Engadget.com. As good as Google Wallet might be for payments, you've so far been locked into using one Google account. That's not so hot if a family member needs to borrow your phone to send some cash. That won't be an issue after today, since Google has updated Wallet's Android app with a tweaked interface that lets you use multiple Google accounts. You'll also get shipment updates for orders from distant retailers. There's also an under-the-hood upgrade that should affect other apps you use. A Google Play Services refresh makes it easier for developers to put Google Wallet Instant Buy buttons in their titles. When they do, it will be trivial to buy something on a whim. That's not great news if you're an impulsive shopper, but we suspect that those with a good handle on their finances will be happy with the improvement.
Well, okay. Makes sense.
I mean, I still try and use the NFC, the near field communication, to do transactions on my Android. Like when it first came out, I was like, oh look, NFC, beep, payment made. That was cool, but it only worked in certain places, and until they get that more widespread, we won't know what's going on.
Well, now I don't. Do you use the is it the passport feature in on your iPhone?
Passport?
It's the wallet feature?
Oh no, hell no! I don't trust Apple with that.
I'm just wondering. Okay.
I'll trust Google because they already have control of it anyway.
Okay. Hey, we're at the bottom of the hour break, and we're gonna continue on. We've got a new London Minute. It's new to you, Charles, because it's the first time you're gonna be hearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be back with more news stories here on the Computer America Show. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hello, this is your London Minute Voice Memo Classic. There may well be over 1 billion Facebook users. But how many of those accounts have been created under duress and in confusion? The following is a true story. It happened one afternoon, quite recently. Hi, Grandad. It's about time I got you on Facebook. I'll set you up now. All done. I've got to go, Grandad. I'll tag you in some photos later. We'll keep in touch this way. Bye. Grandad looked puzzled. What's tagging? He thought. He looked at his new Facebook page and found goofy and embarrassing things his granddaughter was posting. He wanted to cover his eyes. To make it worse, privacy settings weren't considered, and Facebook notification emails began to pile up in his inbox. What happened that afternoon were the actions of a well-meaning, sweet granddaughter. But it was the worst introduction to Facebook that I could imagine. If you like the sound of the London Minute Voice Memo and want your company to sponsor my audio column, contact me at my website, loveyourcomputer.co.uk, or I'm on Twitter, @ComputerTweety. This is Patricia Reichel for Computer America.
The more people talk about Facebook, the more I'm like, yeah, maybe I should get back over there. But then she gave me the perfect example of just the 2 reasons that I would totally hate being on Facebook again. You know, the notifications flooding my inbox. The I don't know. Maybe it's just too much. I mean, you're on Facebook, right, Craig?
Yeah, but can't you you can turn that off? Notifications off. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, I just feel dirty every time I go on Facebook. Like the company has a Facebook page, and we do updates and promos on there. And don't get me wrong, I love it. Between owning Google and owning Facebook, you know, we do really good business that way. But you know, Facebook is just horrible. Anyway, if you guys want to get in on the conversation here on the Computer America Show, you want to talk to me, you want to talk to Craig and his webcam firewall, give us a call, 347-884-8881. See, it really does help having it in my banner. Shoot us an email at live@computeramerica.com or join us over on computeramerica.com in our live interactive add-on chat room. I'm there, Craig's there, the rest of the Computer America gang are all there. You can also see me in my funny t-shirt in, you know, the video, again, with Craig and his live webcam firewall, brought to you by these people right here, also known as Otherworld Computing. Great stuff from great people. Visit macsales.com to get good stuff for your Mac computer and do the upgrade thing yourself and save yourself a bunch of money.
Mike Zuckerberg said he will not be coming on the interview.
Mark Zuckerberg said he wouldn't be coming on?
Yes, he won't be coming on now.
Why not? Did you invite him?
Yeah, but not after that. What you said.
He said he won't come on the show because I think Facebook makes you dirty.
I guess so.
But think about this, though. What made Facebook popular when it started?
It was a great way to hook up with girls.
Close. I think that's the second reason, but you could see the relationship status.
Yeah. Well,
it was who was hooking up with who.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, Mark, if you're listening and you need somebody to hack into your stuff to make sure you can't get hacked by other people out there, give me a call. You can reach me at 347-884-8881. I'll get you on, I'll get you through. You might have to talk to Craig or our new booking goddess, and we'll, you know, they'll direct you in the right place. Or just Google Charles Tendell.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're checking your smartphone at this very second right now, hold on, let me click this button. That picture you just got is of me smiling and, you know, holding up your contact information.
There you go.
You have 72 hours to reach out and respond, or I will be publishing that on TMZ. Just saying. My name again is Craig Crossman.
We are doing computer technology, and it is brought to you by Slimware. And evidently, this next story, according to The Verge, Evernote. Do you use Evernote?
I just started using Evernote, but I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble using it. Does that make sense? Like I'm having trouble getting accustomed to it. Like there's a lot of features in it. There's a lot of syncing to it. There's a lot. It's in every place that I want it to be. But you know, it's just I'm so used to using the built-in Notes app, either Keep or Notes itself, to jot down the things that I care about. I haven't gotten stuck to it yet.
Right. Well, evidently they're working on something where Evernote is building corporate muscle with LinkedIn deal to scan business cards.
Cool.
As I said, they just announced an expanded partnership with LinkedIn designed to make it a better place to organize your address book, improving the ability of its iOS app to scan business cards and manage contacts. The card scanning feature, which became part of the iOS app last year, will now pull in profile information from LinkedIn's 300 million members and enhance the note with information about the time and place where you met. You know, I used LinkedIn the other day, and I just found it so frustrating because I wanted to contact somebody, so I figured, you know, if I could find this for, you know, I'll give them a call. I can find them on LinkedIn. You know, the one thing that they don't give you on LinkedIn is the person's phone number.
It's only if they don't have the phone number listed.
Everybody.
So it's not LinkedIn. They just chose not to do it. Chose not to give it to you.
Okay, because you know. All right. Well, so they do. LinkedIn offers a place that you can put in your phone number if you want. Does it?
It does.
Okay. Well, then all right. Then the person. I actually tried two different people I was looking for, and both of them didn't have phone numbers. And
they just didn't have their phone number listed. That was all.
Yeah, but these are people who are in like public relations and stuff. You know, you would think that they would. Yeah, it was really you want to be accessible to people. You know, why not put your phone number in? Both people didn't. I
agree.
Yeah, that's another thing that drives me crazy. I'll get a pitch from a PR person, and they'll say, "Hey, you know, this guy, we have this product," and I'm reading, "Oh, that's really good," and you know, I look, and they don't give a phone number. They don't give me their phone number, so I have no way of calling them, and you know, my day is kind of crazy, so then I have to sit and reply and email. You know, sometimes I say, you know, if you don't give me your phone number where I can contact you, you know, and you're in the PR business of getting.
How can I help you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes if something looks so good and appealing, I want to get them on the show, so I'll Google and find the company that usually with a PR agency of some sort. I'll find the agency, and then I'll either find the number, they'll be listed there, or I'll call the agency. How do I reach so and so? And then and you know, the other thing is I can't stand it. You call a PR agency and say, well, give me their phone number. Sorry, we can't give you that information.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Well,
Yeah.
you're a PR agency. You've contacted me. I'm the press. Why wouldn't you give me the number where I can reach the person? You know, well, it's just our company policy. Well, I think they're changing. It just drives me crazy when they won't give the PR agent's phone number. And the worst, what they might do is, well, you know, we'll call them and have them call you back. And then when I finally do get them, I'll say, what is going on? And you know, I mean, why would you not have? And it says, oh, you know, you're absolutely right. We need to speak to the reception. We need to change that. You know, well, hello. I mean, it's all these years you've been at this PR agency, and only now you're thinking about this. That's your phone number. It's just, you know, sometimes I bleed from the eye sockets. It's so frustrating. Anyway. This I mentioned. So basically, LinkedIn will begin directing its members to use Evernote for business cards instead of CardMunch. The app it bought in 2011 and is shutting down in July 11th. Okay, so the move demonstrates the increasing importance of business users to cloud-based productivity services like Evernote, like Box and Dropbox before it. Evernote has introduced a version of its service designed specifically for the enterprise. Business users tend to be more lucrative customers than the average person, who is more likely to use the free version of Evernote's services. Becoming LinkedIn's default service for scanning business cards helps Evernote to better position itself as an essential part of working life. Evernote CEO said it's the start of many collaborations to come. LinkedIn and Evernote, he says, represents the union of you-know-who and you-know-what. The companies are really very compatible. You can combine them in a lot of different ways. So for starters, that means rolling out business card scanning to more of Evernote's 90 million users. The service will use automated optical character recognition to pull out names, titles, and phone numbers and organize them inside your notes. It has previously been available only to paying customers. Now Evernote users can get a year of free scanning in exchange for linking their Evernote accounts to LinkedIn. That's nice. In addition to creating a note inside Evernote, the app will also give you the option to connect to your new contact on LinkedIn, save the person's contact information to your phone, or share your own contact details. Hopefully that information on your phone includes their phone number!
How do you really feel about this, Craig?
Why do you ask? As part of the partnership, LinkedIn is shutting down the long-neglected CardMunch. Before it was acquired in 2011, the app was one of the only free ways to scan a mountain of business cards quickly and accurately, but the service has languished since being purchased, leading to complaints from users who worried it had been abandoned. We have had some extremely passionate, loyal users of that application, said the VP of Business Development at LinkedIn. We knew they wanted more. CardMunch was a minor acquisition for LinkedIn. The company paid only $2.4 million for it, and it never really caught on with the company's users. Okay, LinkedIn has 300 million users, but says CardMunch was scanning only 45,000 cards a day. Making CardMunch a central part of LinkedIn would have required serious investments, since it paid contractors to verify the accuracy of every card. Evernote's app scans everything automatically. It also is available in more languages and will eventually allow LinkedIn users on Android phones to get card scanning. Yeah. So there it is. By the way, this story has been changed to reflect the fact that CardMunch will actually shut down on the 11th of July. The companies had previously said it would shut down in June. So they're going to wait after the 4th of July to make this happen.
With the connection with Evernote and...
Yes.
No, I like LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn for a lot of different things, except you seem to be upset because they don't leave phone numbers. But it also makes it. I don't know. I use LinkedIn to one, see who's cyber stalking me, which is cool. And I also use it for when I need to get contact information of other media professionals or people out there who might be interested in something Charles has to say. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God, no. Okay. So you remember the iBeacon app thing that was on on iPhones and was in the Apple Store? You'd walk in to tell you about products and things like that.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah. So it's no longer exclusive to just the Apple Store anymore. And this one coming from MacTrust.com. Walmart and Walgreens joined the list of retailers testing iBeacons in stores.
Well, wait a minute. Now, didn't we have something a similar service that were on the show?
Yeah. Oh God, who is that?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. They were keeping the demographic information. I think there was another one of those people who would probably never come back because I harassed them about privacy. But we should actually make that as a disclaimer. Please note, my co-host is a certified ethical hacker, and if you have privacy concerns or questions that you can't answer, you should probably fix that before you come on, because he's going to ask you the questions. But I forget who it was.
Yeah.
It was well, I know it wasn't Intel.
No, certainly not.
It was not Intel. Who was it? I forget who it was. Well, but they were doing exactly that. You could see trafficking behind clothing sales and things of that nature, and all of this demographic information based on the purchases. On one hand, great idea. On the other hand, privacy concerns. But this comes back down to the iBeacon thing. So, drugstore chain Dunn Reed announced today that it's updating its iPhone app with support for Apple's iBeacons. The Walgreen-owned chain recently installed the low-power Bluetooth devices in 10 of its New York City locations. A separate report tells us that the discount retailer Walmart is also testing iBeacons, but has not yet installed them in any of its stores. 9to5Mac reports that Dwayne Reed, has installed the Bluetooth iBeacons in order to beam offers, coupons, and products into the customers in a proximity marketing. I remember who it was now. Oh,
who was it?
I don't remember the company, but I can see the website in my head right now.
Okay.
I could see the website because they were doing the proximity marketing thing, and I sent a note during the show over to a colleague of mine.
It was iSign Media.
iSign. There we go. We had this exact idea to do this proximity marketing thing, and we never connected on it to get it off the ground. But everybody wanted it. Every retailer wanted to be able to do this, and it sucks now because now the Apple did it, and now we won't be able to do it and be the first to market. Anyway, Dwayne Reed, Dwayne Reed said in a statement, the addition to iBeacon to the Dwayne Reed app vastly improves the customer in-store user experience. iBeacon is a technology Apple introduced with iOS 7 that uses Bluetooth Low Energy and geofencing to provide apps a new level of micro-location awareness, such as trail markers in a park, exhibits in a museum, or product displays in stores. The inclusion of this technology to the Dwayne Reed app adds features such as lock screen notifications when initially approaching a select Dwayne Reed store location, coupon offers based on historical data, and product reviews for timely content at the point of decision. iBeacon will initially be available at 10 select Dwayne Reed stores in Manhattan to test the viability of a further rollout. The Dwayne Reed iBeacon test store locations are 51 West Street. They're all in New York, so if you want to know, visit ComputerAmerica.com. We'll have probably a link to these stories. Anyway, Indoor LBS reports that Walmart is also testing iBeacons, but testing is still confined to the lab, and devices have not been installed in stores. Walmart says they are pretty excited about iBeacons. Knowing where a customer is often helps us serve them better, acknowledging that 90% of retail still happens in stores and has to do with proximity.
There you go.
We need to have one that pops up whenever you go toward a gas station or anything like that. It's like, you listen to Computer America, subliminal message.
No, but we were saying to them that it was kind of reminded us of a Minority Report, where people go and
Hey, let me scan your eyeball. Wait, what?
Exactly, and as I recall, I think you were kind of for it, weren't you? You were.
I am for it, and I am against these types of things. I mean, I am for the proximity marketing thing because it works. Proximity marketing is not a bad thing. It's just the amount of data that gets transferred during that interaction is what worries me.
Yeah, but this definitely is a. I don't think I've ever been to a Dwayne Reed store. Are they only in only in New York?
I think so. I've never been to one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now this story is from The Verge. It says, "Can we keep the elderly safe by tracking them with radar?"
Boo.
Yeah. Bing. That's sonar. It tracks a person's breathing and heart rate. It even knows when somebody falls. Look at this. Americans are growing older faster. In 2000, people 65 and over made up 12% of the population. And by 2030, that number is expected to climb to 19%. As a result, elderly monitoring products designed to help loved ones keep an eye on ailing parents, such as GPS bracelets, motion sensors, and so-called granny cams, have started popping up in online stores and specialized pharmacy all over the U.S. Unfortunately, most of these systems have huge drawbacks that would make anyone reticent to use them. GPS systems, for example, can really only tell you a person's location, not how well they're doing. And cameras infringe on a person's privacy in a big way. That's why researchers have turned to technology that you're more likely to see in an airport than in your aging parents' home, and that's radar. Radar, scientists say, is ideal for those who wish to remain independent in their own homes, but still like access to the security that comes with knowing someone or something is checking up on them. The algorithm is smart enough to discriminate between two closely resembling activities, sitting and falling, says an engineering professor at Villanova University who is working on developing the system. And once the radar declares that a person has fallen, it sends a signal to the mobile phones of family members and neighbors, as well as to first responders. Designed primarily for people living alone, the system makes use of radar units that can fit in a hand. These units send out electromagnetic waves into the surrounding environment that return with modified frequencies when they hit an object or a person. Each limb in your body, your head, your torso, reflects a frequency that is different from that one that was sent. Okay, and those changes are the markers that we can use to classify the type of motion. They can therefore tell the difference between a person who is sitting down and someone who has fallen down with a cane in hand. They can also use the technology to monitor a person's heart rate and breathing. Wow. Moreover, the use of radar technology means that whomever receives an alert will be able to tell where a fall or cardiovascular event occurred in a person's home. But the system, which is still in the development phase, is specific to the user, so it won't be easy to set up. Different people have different habits and gaits, so the algorithm needs to be trained to recognize the way someone moves around. If an elderly person uses a walker, for instance, the system needs to be able to recognize the metal contraption in front of that person's legs. This learning phase is extremely important because you wouldn't want the radar to miss the 90-pound lab on the living room floor for the person it's supposed to monitor. And so they have also been sharing this person's expertise with the researchers to ensure that the system is capable of understanding how the elderly interact with their environments. This means that she has spent a lot of time in the lab teaching college students how to walk and fall like an elderly person. Right now, she says close to 50% of elderly Americans are choosing to remain in their own homes instead of moving to a nursing home as they age. So if we can do something to boost their safety, we will be in a much better place. Unfortunately, training the radar program to recognize how a person moves means that it just won't work as if they're doing something outside of their normal routine, and such as entertaining guests. So it's got a ways to go. I mean, it's a long article, but basically, it's yet another technology that they're working to improve, and perhaps maybe we may see something like this in the future.
Do you want your kids to put a radar tracking system on you?
No.
You sure? Because you've got that gold iPhone 5S that we already can. Let me see. I know where you are right now, Craig. I think we got time for one more since we're on the track Craig Crossman with his iPhone story.
All right. Okay.
9to5mac.com. What is the title? iPad stays on top of J.D. Power's latest survey thanks to cheap Android tablets. Yeah. Following its report last month on smartphone customer satisfaction, in which Apple ranked first, J.D. Power is out today with its study on tablet satisfaction and is once again ranking Apple highest overall. Yeah. Apple comes in first, followed by Samsung, while Asus, Amazon, and Acer fall in line below the study's average. Apple ranks highest in overall satisfaction with a score of 830 and performs highest in all study factors except cost. Samsung ranks second with a score of 822 and achieves above average scores in features, styling, and design, and the cost factor. J.D. Power notes that the decline in overall price of tablets has resulted in a decline of overall satisfaction. Apple, however, avoids that by ranking highest in every category except price. The report also provides some other findings on tablet sales, purchasing habits, and brand loyalty for September 2013 to February 2014 when the study took place. As more value-priced brands enter the market, the average purchase price of a tablet declines. Overall tablet satisfaction declines, according to J.D. Power 2014 U.S. Tablet Satisfaction Study, SM Volume 1, released today. Lower price is the number one reason for tablet choice in 2014, with 25% of the current tablet owners citing price as the main reason for selecting their current brand, compared to 21% in 2013. Features offered and brand reputation are the next most frequently cited reasons for selecting a tablet device, 22% and 21% respectively. Let's see. J.D. Power and Associates previously awarded the iPhone highest consumer satisfaction for smartphones 8 years in a row, and Apple has several times used its studies in iPhone and iPad advertising on its website and elsewhere. The report used experiences of approximately 2,500 tablet owners between September 2013 and February 2014 and ranked 5 metrics related to the user experience, including performance, 28%, ease of operation, 22%, features, also 22%, styling and design, 17%, and cost, as the bottom line, at 11%. Now, you want to see something really interesting?
Yeah, what's that?
See what this is?
No, I wasn't looking. What?
You're not looking. Do you see what this one is? I'll make sure there's no sensitive information on here.
Oh, what is it? Yeah.
This is an iPad Air.
Yeah.
And immediately next to it now
is
the Galaxy Note 10.1.
Wow, you got both, but the iPad Air is much bigger.
The iPad Air is significantly thinner, and it has slowly but surely crept its way back into being my daily driver. But my Note 10.1 is still the tablet that I will take when I want to go and get real business done, like when I want to get real work done. My iPad is content consumption and the quick at-a-glance of just about anything. My Android tablet, because an Android tablet has a better Android experience for Google and things of that nature. But my iPad, they're slowly but surely creeping up there, and as you've also noticed, I switched back to my iPhone.
Yeah, we see there's hope for you yet.
Yeah, well, it's the silver one. It's not the gold one.
Well, close, but no cigar. Well,
I think it's faster.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now listen, coming up tomorrow night, we're going to have scheduled to be on the show with Slimware Utilities from Chris Cope, CEO of Slimware, may appear on the show. But if not,
wait, who?
Yeah, Chris Cope is the CEO of yes. And
of what?
Slimmer Utilities.
Oh, I was like, what did you just say? I missed the whole part of it. I was like, Coke. At first I thought you said Coke. I was like, you got the CEO of Coca-Cola? Man, that's so far off technology.
No, but if he doesn't show up, we'll do computer and technology news, of course, by Slimmer Utilities. And then the second hour, we're going to have a company called HITRUST, which is kind of interesting. The CEO is going to be on the show to discuss why HITRUST does, to have a more in-depth discussion around cloud and virtualization security. I know you like that. I'm so you would be on there, and they're going to be on the program. So
60
please
seconds.
be there. I think it's going to be a good show, really. So
wait, what day is that?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
You're on with me tomorrow.
I'm here tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, and then on Friday we're going to have Ralph Bond, but you'll be probably in bed.
Well, I've been advised that I probably shouldn't do anything that I wouldn't mind forgetting.
Okay.
I will probably be like, I don't remember calling into the show, but I did.
Exactly, but I can't remember. Which show is this again? Exactly. Yep. So Charles and I will see you tomorrow night, and then, of course, we'll be into the weekend. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy.
Squiffy.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Say goodnight, Charles.
10 seconds.
Good night, Charles.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, and there we are. And I guess we'll say
this is the party and the after party.
See you tomorrow. And everybody's gone. And we'll say that. And we're going to log out of the chat room. And good. All right. Then we'll stop the broadcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. All right. Bye, everybody.